Sure, here's a 950-word story about a first marriage. My first marriage, a journey of love and growth. Marriage is often described as a beautiful journey, but for me, my first marriage was more of a discovery, a way of learning about myself, love, and the art of compromise. I was 25 when I met Raj, the man I would eventually marry. At the time, I had no idea that he would become such an important part of my life. It all started with a chance encounter at a mutual friend's wedding. Raj was the best man, and I was a bridesmaid. We shared a few awkward conversations, mostly about the weather and how beautiful the wedding ceremony was. It wasn't love at first sight, but there was something about his easy smile and warm presence that stayed with me. By the end of the evening, he asked for my number, and, to my surprise, I gave it to him. It wasn't that I hadn't been approached by men before, but something about Raj felt different. He wasn't pushy or overly confident. There was a calmness to him that I appreciated. Over the next few weeks, we spoke on the phone and met up for casual coffee dates. What began as small talk soon turned into deep, meaningful conversations about our lives, our hopes, and even our fears. Raj had a way of making me feel heard, like my thoughts and feelings mattered. As time passed, I realized that I was falling for him. After 6 months of dating, Raj proposed. We had been talking about our future, and he had already made me feel like part of his world. The proposal was simple but beautiful. He took me to the park where we first met, and, with a quiet sincerity, asked if I would be his wife. It was exactly what I wanted: intimate, personal, and filled with love. I said yes without hesitation. The wedding preparations were a whirlwind. My family was thrilled, of course, and Raj's family was equally excited. Being the first in my family to get married, I felt the weight of tradition and expectation on my shoulders. There were so many details to consider: who to invite, what kind of dress I wanted, the music, the food. I was overwhelmed at times, but Raj was my rock. He never once added to my stress. He kept reminding me that the most important thing was that we were starting our life together, and that everything else would fall into place. On the day of the wedding, I remember feeling a mix of nervousness and excitement. I was about to marry the man who had become my best friend, my partner, my confidant. The ceremony was beautiful, and as I walked down the aisle, I could see Raj standing there, waiting for me, his eyes full of love and anticipation. At that moment, all the doubts and worries I had faded away. This was the person I wanted to spend my life with. The first few months of marriage were blissful. We were in that honeymoon phase where everything felt perfect. We cooked dinner together, went on weekend trips, and talked late into the night about our dreams for the future. It felt like we were building something special, and I cherished those early days. But as time went on, reality began to settle in. We had to adjust to living together, managing finances, and balancing our individual lives with our life as a couple. It wasn't always easy. I was used to making decisions on my own, and Raj had his own routines and habits that sometimes clashed with mine. There were moments of frustration, disagreements over small things, like whose turn it was to take out the trash or what to watch on TV. One of the biggest challenges we faced early on was communication. We both came from different backgrounds and had different ways of handling conflict. I tended to shut down when I was upset, while Raj wanted to talk things out immediately. This led to some tension between us, but we learned to compromise. We began setting aside time to talk about our feelings, no matter how difficult the conversation might be. Slowly, we learned how to navigate these challenges and grow stronger as a couple. There was also the adjustment to the pressures of married life. Both of us were still figuring out who we were as individuals, and now we had to do so while building a life together. It was a delicate balance, supporting each other's ambitions while maintaining a sense of our own identities. There were moments when I questioned if I was doing everything right, but Raj was always there to remind me that we were a team and we would figure it out together. As the months turned into years, I realized that marriage wasn't about finding perfection. It was about commitment, respect, and the willingness to grow together. There would be ups and downs, but the key was to face them hand in hand. Raj wasn't perfect, and neither was I, but together we made something beautiful. In our third year of marriage, we faced a challenge that tested our bond in ways we hadn't anticipated. I lost my job unexpectedly, and for the first time, I felt a deep sense of uncertainty about my future. Raj, ever the Aishay,